Hey everyone, it's Joy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing some new products from Spellbinders. I'm sharing the Gnome Christmas, and isn't that so super cute? And I'm also sharing the Twilight Sparkle Strip Glimmer Hot Foil Plate. And yeah, so that's going to be what I'm sharing today. So let's get started. Here is that cute die, and I love that it's in the shape of a Christmas tree. And then you have things to decorate it, stars, like Christmas balls, a wreath. There's little shoes and hands and arms for the gnomes as well. So I'm just going to get started with die cutting my gnomes from some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock. And you could die cut these and use colored cardstock, or you could do ink blending. You could use like a Zig clean color real brush marker, like watercolors, but I decided to do Copic markers. This green right here, I've had these green Copics in my collection, I think since like last Christmas. And I decided to use it, and I'm so glad I did. It's a really fun green, and I think it was totally perfect for these gnomes. So I have 4 different colors of gnomes that I'm going to be doing, and 2 different colors of beard. So I'm just going to show you the coloring of the different colors, but I end up with 2 red gnomes and 2 blue gnomes. Then I have a turquoise and then that green one that I showed you at the beginning. So I'm just going to color their hats and like their little pants, which I realized when I was done with this card that I think one of the little bodies of one of the gnomes I got rid of. He was on the second layer. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. But just if you see me do that, don't be like, oh my gosh, you totally forgot this and that. I know, I totally did. What are you going to do, right? Okay, so I've got 2 colors of beards. I'm using W3 and W1, and I'm just doing a flicking motion from the top of the mustache or beard down. For the other one, I'm going to be using C3 and C1. So one of them is just like, this one's just gray, and then the other one is a little bit of a warmer gray, a little bit of brown to it. And I really wanted those guys to stand out just a little bit different from each other so they didn't all look the same. So here's that red. I'm using R37 and 35. Normally I use 3 colors when I'm blending, but these are smaller images and I felt like I could get away with 2. So I put down some of that darker color, blended out with the lighter color, and then came back in again and did it one more time, because sometimes you can blend out your whole dark area, and I just didn't want to do that. So these little guys are super cute. I know everybody's been into gnomes and I think they're so darling, but I have I think this is maybe my first or second gnome thing that I've had in my collection, and I just ordered one from Stamp Timber. I don't have a lot of gnome things, and every time I see them I think they're so cute, and I just feel like I need to get on the bandwagon, but I don't ever get on it. Okay, so this is the cute little aquamarine, or the little teal, which of course is my favorite. And so when I was coloring these guys, I wanted things to be different, but I did not want to have too many colors. So that's why I repeated some of them. So you have the background piece that I die cut from white cardstock, and I just kind of laid these guys out roughly of where they were fitting, and then I'm gonna adhere them down. I'm using my reverse tweezers from Spellbinders and some Barely Art liquid glue. I do really like this glue. I love that it comes in a big ginormous tube and it does have like a little fine tip at the end, so it's just, I don't know, it just is fantastic. I really like it. So I also decided that while I was making this, I was trying to figure out what I wanted my background color to be for my cardstock, and because I did red on here already, red was out for me. So I thought I would bring in a more traditional green, even though I already have that little green gnome, but that's a different green color. So we're going to do an ink blended background, and then we're going to do some foiling on it. So definitely hang around for that, because it turned out really cute. This foil plate is so fantastic, and I already forgot the name of it. I think it's the Twinkle foil plate, but I'll have everything listed and linked for you below. Okay, I die cut their shoes from some black cardstock, and I'm just going to put those in place just on these little bottom guys, and then there's little arms and hands. They have their cute little noses, so I'm coloring those really quick with some E colors. You can see the caps there. I think it was E00 or E0 and then E000. And then I brought in a little bit of E11. I needed to darken it up. Just made super quick. I just kept them all the same. I mean, you could definitely change up the colors and, you know, just have a little, lots of different little color gnomes here. That would be really cute too. So for their arms and hands, I kept it simple. I just die cut the arms and colored them the same as these little bodies. I did not add the hands to it because I really wanted it to feel like they have gloves on or something and it matches their shirt. So that's why I did it this way, but they do have hands as well. So I'm going to tuck these in. I'm adding a little bit of liquid glue, and you can just kind of see where they lay on that background piece. It's almost like putting a piece of puzzle together. So when I was talking about the body, that little teal guy, I think he had a body part at the bottom there because it's kind of an open area that I accidentally threw out. So that was my bad. So pay attention to that if you've got this die and you're cutting. I wanted to add some interest to these hats. So I have my white gel pen. I have a striped hat. I have a couple polka dot hats, but I did the polka dots a little bit different. And then I have another hat that has some diagonal stripes on it. And then I have two that are just plain and left alone. Obviously you don't have to do this, but I just felt like adding a little something. So for the dots on this guy, I'm just adding little trios of dots all over his hat. And then the turquoise guy, I'm going to do some diagonal stripes. That top guy, the top gnome with the red, I kind of followed, the stripes look wonky, but I was kind of following the way the hat looks like it was flowing. So it just felt a little more realistic. Okay, let's ink up our background. I'm using Mowed Lawn and Rustic Wilderness. The Mowed Lawn is going to be in the center. I wanted that to be a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to bring the Mowed Lawn into the outside. I am using Waffle Flowers stencil mat, and you can tell it is very well used. You guys, this thing is fantastic. I love that your paper, for the most part, doesn't shift around. Every once in a while it moves a little bit, but for the most part, it really doesn't. I'm going to blend that darker green in and then go back into the lighter green. And I did clean off my brush before I dipped back into that light green. Okay, so I realized I needed to ink that background so it can dry. So that's why I did that first and then came back to the gnomes. So I die cut the string of Christmas balls from a gold mirror cardstock. Then the Christmas balls are from a cardstock called Gold Touch from Cardstock Warehouse. It's like a glitter cardstock, but none of the glitter comes off, you guys. It's so pretty. So the stars and the balls are from that Gold Touch. So I added that large star on that top gnome. Then I'm going to add all of the balls to this. I opted to not go with colored ones because the gnomes were already so colorful that I felt like they would just get lost in the design. So that's why I opted to bring in the gold because I love gold. So obviously you could do silver, you could do, you know, whatever color you want to do. If you did like a tone on tone with all of the gnomes, then I think you could definitely get away with colorful Christmas balls. This is the wreath that I colored with some Copic markers, some darker green Copic markers. You guys, I'm sorry I forgot to record it. And I'm going to add some stars to the centers of those little strings of garland there. So a smaller one at the top, a larger one in the middle. And then I can add a star to that other little gnome, and the wreath right there looks like he's holding it. I don't even have his little arm there, but you're not even going to see it. Okay, let's get to foiling that background. I am using Opal foil because that background has twinkling stars on it, and I just thought this would be so pretty on top of that green background. I'm using the foil cutter from Spellbinders. I die cut a large sheet here. I'm going to put my Glimmer plate in place. So I will have to do this 3 times across my card panel, but I'm going to do it all exactly like this. I just move it over for each foiling and do the foiling exactly the same. So I created a hinge, added my plate, adding my foil. I'm just going to trim off that little bit of excess at the bottom because I did cut it too long. And then I can put this on top of my Glimmer hot foil system, which is already heating up and getting nice and hot. Once that's done heating up, I'm going to put my plates on top and slowly run this through my Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cut machine. Now, I did get a little bit of over foiling on this, but I just took an eraser and gently erased it, and then I just added some of that Rustic Wilderness ink back on top of there and then gently wiped that off of the foil. So It totally turned out looking fantastic. Okay, let's get this adhered. I want some foam tape behind these cute gnomes because they need to pop off the background because they're so fun. And then I have a sentiment from Tailored Expressions Simple Strips Christmas. It says, "May your days be merry and bright." I already had this in my stash, and it's gold embossed, gold heat embossed, so it's totally perfect. I have foam tape behind that. I'm going to pop that underneath these guys, and it just kind of looks like a base. They almost kind of reminded me of like a choir of gnomes were up there singing. I thought it was so cute. And then, of course, I need to come in with some gold foil confetti from Studio Katia. You guys know these are my favorite. I'm just going to add a scattering of these around. You also could do like a silver or an iridescent. That would really go with that opal foil on the background. I think that would be really pretty too. But I've got the gold going on, so I might as well just keep in that theme, right? So I'm going to add those. And then I added this to a white A2 size card base. And look at that foil in the background. I love that glimmer plate. Okay, guys, thank you so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you feel inspired. Thank you for all of your support, and I will be back soon with another video. Bye!